It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
There we go. I think we got things set up. Good morning, Mary.
Now I just have to get myself set up, and really all I have to do is push one button. So, but I'm all set now.
Excellent.
All right, we made it through Monday again. I don't know. It's just a thing in my head. It's good to get Monday out of the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Couple nice victories. You watched the Hillcrest girls clinch the
I actually
conference.
watched both games last night.
Nice.
The girls played in Parkers Prairie, and the Hillcrest boys played at Brandon Evansville. And thank heaven for the Huddle app, because that game was the game that, well, actually we weren't at either game. And so we could watch one, and then at the end of that game, you could go back to the Huddle past games.
Oh.
And then you could watch what you missed. And in between there, I was trying to watch American Idol to see if Chris Tunkseth would be on.
Was he on?
He was not. However, they do the previews next Monday, it says. And then it shows some people, and he was one.
Oh, okay. Because Jen and I, we did the Otter hockey game last night. The Otters had a nice victory over Wilmer.
Great.
And we were all sitting there talking about, hey, this is awesome, but what if Tunkseth is on tonight?
Yeah, well, here's the good news. If you miss him, the next day, if you are following it at all on social media, the winners, usually their performances are there individually.
Okay.
So you can go and grab them that way. You'll always be able to see it.
Yeah.
But I'd never, I guess, paid any attention to the preview of what's coming next Monday. And at the end of the show, it said, next Monday, and then it showed pictures of all these people, and Chris Tunkseth was one of them. So I'm guessing that he will be on the show next Monday.
That'll be good to see.
And I don't like those kinds of shows at all. But I got to tell you, American Idol is really kind of a fun one to watch. I've never had 2 hours of that kind of a contest, if you will, go so quickly, because they just move people through, and there's very little, baloney in between. You get to see all these people sing, and I suppose as we go forward, there might be more of that, personal story, background kind of stuff in between. But I really enjoy it, and I don't think anyone got shut down last night. Now, I didn't see the whole thing because I'm jumping back in between 2 basketball games, and so if you would have watched me last night, it would have been something for America's Funniest Home Videos, I'm sure. First of all, my phone was dying. When you plug your phone into the TV, boy, it just sucks your battery just like crazy. So during half times, I was running and plugging it in and letting it sit there for however long a halftime is, and then it would juice it up just enough for me to get, to the maybe in between games or. Anyway, it was pretty funny. And then I'm trying to go back and forth between, about 3 different shows. And I had 2 devices going. I had my phone. I had my Fire tablet. So I've got 1 game over here. I've got 1 game over here. I've got American Idol here. And then, oh, my goodness. I don't know if I have the brain power for all of that. But then I decided, why am I doing this? Because I could just wait. I could watch American Idol, and then I could go back and watch the games.
Yeah,
So
but it'd be a late night.
it was a little later than I normally stay up, but I just, me, I just never get tired of basketball.
Yeah.
And the last, I think, 3 weeks, we've had 4 nights of basketball, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, every week. And then last week we had a Saturday event, too. So, it's about 5 days worth of basketball every week, and that's why winter for us just
Flies.
Oh my goodness, just flies. I mean, here we are in the middle of February already, and of course we've got we've got Valentine's Day this weekend.
Valentine's Day Saturday, so guys
Yes.
start trying to find roses.
Right, right. And ladies, I don't know what you get your significant other, but
Beer.
you know me, all I need is dark chocolate. That's all I need.
Here's a dozen roses. Here's a dozen cans of Nickel Light.
There you go. Well, whatever works, I guess. In fact, we looked at each other last night and said, okay, should we just say Happy Valentine's Day and call her good? Well, I'd rather take whatever you'd spend on it, you know. I just can't make myself go out and buy that $5 or $6 card. That's going to end up in the garbage by the end of the night anyway.
We usually make our own cards.
I like that way better. Way better. And if you love flowers, you love flowers. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't gift at this juncture, but when you get to be my age, we'd rather take the money we'd spend on each other for some little goofy gift and, you know, do some fun things for the grandkids. So that's what, you know, those are the things that we do. But I think we've got good ideas for Valentine's this year.
Excellent.
Yeah, and certainly they're in school, so they're not listening, but they love to go to a couple of different restaurants in town with their buddies, you know, like after games, that kind of stuff. And one of them loves to go through and, you know, drive through for a fun coffee. And so they're just going to get gift cards to places in town. So, and I think that's a good way to, you know, support our local businesses too. So,
Yeah.
But they love to go do that kind of stuff, and this makes it a little more affordable for them to do that. Because when you're a high school kid,
You're broke.
yeah, and you don't really have money to go out for pizza or whatever your favorite is. And high school girls love to go through the coffee thing. They love the coffee deal. And so, so that's what we're going to do is just do gift certificates
Okay.
or gift cards or whatever. I think that'll be kind of fun. Well, anyway, here we are. It is, what, the 10th today? Yeah. February 10th?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are getting close to, what is it? I think they're on day 10 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
For Nancy Guthrie being missing. And I thought this was interesting. Former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, he said he thinks there are 3 possibilities in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, saying the lack of leads has left investigators confronting unsettling questions. Feels like they really have gotten nowhere. That's what we know,
Yeah.
you know, what they're telling us. He says these things. The first possibility would be, obviously, it's a kidnapping. That was an intended kidnapping for a ransom payment, he said. That's one possibility. The second possibility would be that this was just a crime that went awry. Someone was at the house. Maybe it was some sort of burglary attempt. Maybe something went bad, and you've got some bad actors committing another crime unrelated. In other words, requesting a ransom for something you didn't do to take advantage of a situation like this. And the third possibility, he said, is that Guthrie's disappearance may not have been a kidnapping at all, but instead the result of a medical emergency or another non-criminal event that was later misunderstood or misrepresented. So I don't really...
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand that one either. Bongino said that the theory is raised by the complete absence of digital forensic and surveillance indicators, noting that when investigators are unable to locate someone within the first few days of a case, it can suggest either highly sophisticated perpetrators or the story that you've been told or may believe may not actually be the story. That's where I think we are.
I think she was killed right away.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think she was killed right away, and then
And for
somebody's...
what, though?
I don't know.
You know? I mean...
But I think the ransom note, quote, kidnappers, I think is like a second party.
Well, and yeah, I think you're right about that. And this whole ransom thing, I mean, if you're looking for a ransom from Savannah Guthrie, who probably makes a fair amount of money, why would you send it to a local TV station and
Oh,
not
they do that.
NBC?
They do that all the time.
I suppose, but wouldn't you send something to NBC since that's her network? I don't know. It just doesn't really, none of it really adds up.
To me, the sad news is I don't think she's alive.
Yeah, I think you, sadly, I think you may be right, especially after all this time. And you can hear from the videos that have come out from the family. If you saw them, I saw them this morning on Fox News in succession. And it is, you know, a lot more desperation in this last one. And basically, let us celebrate her. It kind of sounded like, you know.
They know she's dead.
Kind of. Anyway, I guess, you know, people everywhere are praying for her safe return, and we can continue to do that. Well, the House Oversight Committee is launching an investigation into reports that a key swing state could have non-citizens both in its jury pools and on its voter rolls. Shock, right?
Yeah, I know.
Committee Chairman James Comer from Kentucky is sending a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi asking whether a specific county in the Detroit metropolitan area is giving rights exclusive to U.S. citizens to others residing there, which could potentially violate federal law. Non-citizens have appeared in the state's jury pool and in some instances have been registered to vote. There you have it.
Not surprised.
The committee is requesting a briefing to understand the U.S. Department of Justice's role in investigating such matters and the potential for similar issues to be occurring nationwide. My guess is...
Guarantee you it's happening in the cities.
Oh, boy. I really believe that we would see this in many states across the country if we were to do a lot of digging. Now, will any of that digging you know, come in time for the next midterm elections? I don't know.
Only a couple months away.
I know. And you and I both have our doubts, I think. Sadly, we've gotten like, oh, nothing's ever going to happen. Nobody will ever have to come clean. And then we keep hearing this, you know, this carrot hanging out there about having to have an ID in order to vote, which I think should be the standard everywhere.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't get a hotel room. You can't rent a car. You can't get a Minnesota fishing license without showing your Minnesota ID. Now, how come you can vote without it, but you can't fish without it?
That's ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, all right. Justice Department moved Monday to dismiss its criminal case against Steve Bannon for refusing to testify before the House committee investigating January 6th, 2021. Here we are, all these years down the road. Bannon, a Trump ally, was convicted in 22 on 2 contempt of Congress counts for declining to appear for deposition and produce requested documents. He served 4 months in federal prison in 2024. Ghislaine Maxwell, the former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, declined to answer any questions from the House Oversight Committee, as we expected she would, citing her Fifth Amendment rights. Her attorney told lawmakers that Maxwell would testify if President Trump granted her clemency. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking. She continues to challenge her conviction. Let's see what else we have for you in news today. Multiple Olympic medals that were given out have already broken.
Yeah,
within hours of being awarded. Wow. Gold medalist Breezy Johnson warned athletes after hers broke during celebrations following her women's downhill ski victory on Sunday. Don't jump in them, she said. I was jumping in excitement and it broke. Anyway, there's another guy from a mixed relay, and he was a bronze medalist. Fell off its ribbon, clattered to the floor while dancing with his teammates. And, you know, when you got a gold medal hanging around your neck, you're going to do some dancing around.
Yeah.
And anyway, TV footage captured the moment. The clasp had broken off completely. U.S. figure skater Elisa Liu also posted social media footage showing her team event gold medal detached from its ribbon. Anyway, they say that they are investigating with maximum attention and working on solutions before...
Kind of embarrassing.
It's kind of embarrassing, yes, for sure.
Here, enjoy your medal
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah, for now. And you and I talked about this yesterday when we were talking about Lindsey Vonn. Downhill skiers competing in Italy's Winter Olympics must wear airbag vests that inflate during crashes to prevent serious injuries. So they're all wearing them. The International Skiing Federation made these vests mandatory for all speed events during the 24-25 World Cup season, extending the requirement to Olympic downhill competitions. Engineering firm Danese developed the wearable technology using sensors and GPS to detect real crashes and deploy only when needed. That's pretty cool.
That is, and it's probably saving lives.
Yeah, and the safety measure comes after 5 World Cup skiers suffered serious injuries, some of those even brain hemorrhage.
Ooh.
And anyway, they decided that some of these super fast skiing events really, really need them. They ski over 90 miles an hour sometimes. Some athletes initially resisted the mandate, fearing performance impacts, but post-crash research shows the vests reduce injury severity. So
Plus, everybody's wearing them, and if everybody's
Exactly.
wearing them,
everybody has the same
Yeah.
limitation then. All right, when we come back, even paying drivers cash can't keep them off their phones while behind the wheel. We'll tell you about that when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me every Friday at 5 on KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. From local crime and business news to road construction and car accidents, the weekly news recap keeps you up to date on what you need to know. The KBRF Weekly News Recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com. Memorials that matter.
What's the ox say?
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, it's Ox Across America, live from Des Moines, Iowa. Hear from the people who will be the first to decide the next president of the United States and who they're picking for their next governor and U.S. senator. At 4:06, hear what wine Jeff has for us on the West Side Liquor Wine Line. Then hear fellow Ox listeners' wines of the week. See you for a special Hot Talk with the Ox from Des Moines, Iowa, from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the ox say?
This is Craig Olson. Join me every Saturday morning at 8 for the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Football, basketball, soccer, hockey, volleyball, swimming, cross country. I interview area coaches to discuss the season, recap the last game, and preview upcoming games. Catch the live show at 8 on Saturday morning on News Talk 1250 KBRF and the live stream and archived shows at KBRFradio.com. Just click on Sports Streaming. The Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
KBRFradio.com News. Get the news that matters delivered straight to your inbox. With KBRF Daily Headlines, you'll stay up to date on everything happening in your community. Sign up today and receive a roundup of the day's top stories all in one email. It's fast, convenient, and it's always free. From local updates to breaking news, KBRF brings you the headlines you need right at your fingertips. Visit KBRFradio.com and sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.
Find out why the markets are moving. Get in-depth ag information with the Red River Farm Network on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning, I'm Tyler Donaldson here on the Red River Farm Network with your market update. Grains markets trading higher across the board. Soybeans contracts leading the way higher with double-digit gains in each of those contracts. Total Farm Marketing market analyst Brian Doherty says South American weather and this morning's supply and demand report are the stories in the grains.
I just couldn't find much on the weather front in the southern hemisphere to say, hey, I'm concerned about X, right? Yet there's some talk of some drying conditions in parts of Brazil there, and yet at the same time, it's a big country. You've got some areas that are wet, trying to harvest beans, and then the counter to that is you've got a long growing season because they plant over extended window of time. That rain will be beneficial to some of the crop. So it looks like position square in front of the report. Wheat's pretty much unchanged there in Chicago. Kansas City wheat up a couple to 3 cents. Minneapolis wheat maybe up a penny or so. Just not much activity there. Looking for organic confirmation of bigger world supplies.
Good fundamentals have cattle markets trading higher.
One is you've got, again, limited supply, and despite the administration's talk of trying to lower beef prices, you can bring some things in from Argentina, but the net overall imports there of, let's say, ground beef, about 2, maybe 3% of total imports. So there's just not much of a game changer there, although it makes headlines. So tight supplies of feeders. Back months in deferred cattle finding a little bit of support. Not anything terrific, but holding in that let's call it 230 area all the way out to April of next year. The third thing is just the dollar providing underlying support that will continue to see export activity remain firm for beef products.
Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Here's the latest from CHS Ag Services. Sales agronomist Ellie Magnell from the Crookston location is our guest.
Today I will be talking about one of our very own plant hormone supplements called Unlocked Pro. Unlocked Pro is an all-natural water-based plant growth regulator with auxins and gibberellic acid, which act as a steroid for the plant. Some benefits of applying Unlocked Pro is quicker emergence because of enhanced cell division and elongation, along with increased root growth. For application options, you can apply it as a seed treatment, in furrow, or a foliar. There is significant data that shows for early season application, such as seed treatment or in furrow, can have additional yield benefits when followed with a foliar application. If you have any further questions about Unlocked Pro, please do not hesitate to call your local sales agronomist.
CHS Ag Services with 20 locations in northwest Minnesota and northeast North Dakota. CHS Ag Services, providing solutions for your success.
And the jet stream.
So if you're an investor, a lot of that money can be either better utilized somewhere else, or it's costing you a lot more money to keep in commodities.
Many of those same clients in those states are really suffering with some issues on the rainfall shortages.
No one covers agriculture better than the Red River Farm Network. We're reporting agriculture's business.
This is Red River Farm Network farm broadcaster Don Wick. Join me for exclusive coverage from CattleCon 2026. We're reporting from Nashville, delivering the latest information regarding policy, trade, and markets, all within the cattle business. CattleCon coverage sponsored by the North Dakota Beef Commission, North Dakota Stockmen's Association, and Minnesota Beef Council. It's CattleCon from Nashville, reporting agriculture's business on air, online, and on the go.
Chicken quotes, May wheat Minneapolis 1/4 cent higher, 5.81 1/2. Chicago May wheat's 1/2 cent lower, 5.38 1/4. KC wheat's 2 1/4 up to 5.31. March corn 3/4 cent higher, trading 4.29 1/2. March soybeans are 11 1/4 higher to 11.22. In Winnipeg, March canola is down 2.80 per metric ton to 662.90 Canadian. February live cattle are 55 cents higher, 239.85. March feeders up a nickel, 367.50. February hogs are trading even, currently 87.10. Reporting agriculture's business, you are listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Do you feel tingling, burning, or numbness in your hands or feet? It could be peripheral neuropathy, a condition where damaged nerves make it painful or difficult to do everyday things. At Detroit Lakes Chiropractic, they use safe, gentle, and effective methods to help improve nerve function and reduce discomfort. And right now, your first consultation is free. Call Detroit Lakes Chiropractic today, 847-4366, 218-847-4366.
KBRF Radio.com news. Get the news that matters delivered straight to your inbox. With KBRF Daily Headlines, you'll stay up to date on everything happening in your community. Sign up today and receive a roundup of the day's top stories all in one email. It's fast, convenient, and it's always free. From local updates to breaking news, KBRF brings you the headlines you need right at your fingertips. Visit KBRFradio.com and sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.
Love sports? Turn your evenings and weekends into paid action. News Talk 1250 KBRF is hiring local sports videographers to capture the excitement on game night. $60 per game, training provided, no experience needed. Just bring a passion for sports, get on the field, get paid, and be part of the action. You must have a valid driver's license. Apply today at mriker@layton.media. That's M-R-I-K-E-R at layton.media. Get on the field, get paid, and be part of the action.
Previously on the Under the Hood show. When I was a kid, I had a chance to get a chemistry set.
I got
Only
the
I'd have
chemistry
known.
set, and I started experimenting with the baking soda and the vinegar thing, you know, and how cool that was. And of course, you know, I had to overdo it like I do everything, and I got it on a little bigger level, and I got in a lot of trouble, and we had to buy new carpet for the living room. It was not good.
You should listen to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood show with the Motor Medics right here, KBRF, 1250 a.m., every Saturday at 10 a.m.
News Talk 1250 KBRF forecast for today up around 28 with partly sunny skies. Going to be blustery. 15 for tonight's low. 34 for Wednesday's high. 37 Thursday. 39 on Friday. 39 on Saturday. So not only is Valentine's Day going to warm up your heart, Mother Nature's going to help out. Nearly 40 degrees. That's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Right now it is 27. Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our friends over at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Falls Monument Company.
Wow, sounds like a nice, warm Valentine's
yeah.
Day. Maybe you can just go for a walk hand in hand or something.
Go for a walk. Do
Yeah.
some grilling.
Oh, grilling.
Ooh.
Good idea. We grilled burgers last night. Yum. I tell you what, there is nothing like a burger that comes off the grill, is there?
No.
Gosh, especially this time of year. I mean, we do burgers a lot in the summer. And I enjoy them so much then, but it's double enjoyment when it's this time of year. And you can, in fact, I still, as I walked out in the garage this morning, I could still smell burgers everywhere. Anyway.
And I always like, you know, smoking, even if it's in the middle of winter. I've got one of those thermal blankets that goes over your smoker to retain the heat. And, nothing's better than a good set of ribs or a good set of pulled pork.
Food is so good, isn't it?
Brisket.
I know.
We were discussing how we were going to do the wings on Super Bowl Saturday, the ill-fated wing adventure.
Right.
And I'm like, well, normally I smoke them, but I think we could probably do them in the oven. I didn't want to go out and
I know.
get the smoker
Sometimes you
going.
just, I know. And it seems like a lot of work to get that all rolling. But
Especially for wings.
yeah, exactly.
But ribs?
Yeah. Well, those wings that we did just plain old in the oven, I gotta tell you, they were so good. I would absolutely do that again, and nothing could be easier.
Yeah.
You know, you mix some stuff in a plastic bag, dump in, you know, put the wings in there, shake it around, and put them on a pan, and off you go.
Yep.
You know, it was perfect for watching the game because we could kind of put them in the oven and sort of forget about them. It said to turn them every 10 minutes. We did not do that. I think we turned them once during the whole deal, and that was just fine.
Yeah, I might have turned them twice. You know, every
I think
40
the
or every
secret,
15.
Yep, I think the secret, if you're using raw wings, which we did, is to make sure that they are completely dry.
Oh yeah.
Before you try to bake them, because if you leave any, like I had, you know, I had a bag of them and they were frozen, so we took the bag out, let them thaw, but now they're sitting in their juices kind of, you know. And so I took them all out of that, and I put them on a, like a cooling rack if you were baking.
Yep.
And let them kind of drain, and then I took paper towels and patted both sides and got them really dry, and then we left them for a while like that, so they got extra dry. And I think that's the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, but then they don't stick. And then I took, I use parchment paper for everything I put on a pan.
Oh, yeah.
And then I took a little bit of olive oil and drizzled it on the parchment paper and just took my hand, my fingers, and, you know, just made them, there weren't puddles.
Yeah.
Just kind of coated that parchment paper with a tiny bit of olive oil. And that kept them from sticking, and then you don't lose any of that crispy outside. So, yeah, we are definitely going to do that again. In fact, I would have had it the next day if I'd had chicken wings at home, because it was really, really good. Okay, going to tell you about drivers who just can't kick the habit of using their phone while driving. So there were some researchers, and they paid almost 1,500 drivers, each $100, to adopt safer driving habits, successfully reducing speeds, they hoped, by about 11 to 13%. They thought it would also reduce hard braking by about 20% and rapid acceleration by between 16 and 25%. However, handheld phone use remained completely unchanged despite identical financial incentives. The University of Pennsylvania studied tracked drivers for 3 months using smartphone apps, finding that participants spent nearly 4 minutes of every hour driving with phones in hand, regardless of the rewards. Oh boy. Unlike unconscious behaviors like speeding, phone use involves deliberate choices driven by immediate psychological rewards that delayed payments can't compete with. The improvements in other driving behaviors persisted even after incentives ended, suggesting lasting habit changes. Motor vehicle crashes kill 1.2 million people worldwide annually, with distracted driving playing a major role in those numbers. So I think that's something we all know, and at times, potentially, most all of us are guilty, I think, from time to time.
I'm not bad at using my phone.
Well, that's very good.
If I get a text message, Jeep, I just hit a button and it'll tell me what the text message is.
Right, same.
And then if I want to respond, I can do that, or I can just, usually if that happens, I hit, I'll say calls whoever, and it, goes through the automated system. I don't need to pick up my phone.
Right, right. And that hands-free option certainly makes things better. It's not flawless, but, it certainly is a help. And
it was a big jump from my last vehicle.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I guess you just have to consider, what are the potential outcomes of trying to type while you're driving down the road at 70 miles an hour. And really how important is that text or email? If you have to, get off on the next exit if you're on the interstate. Or pulling over isn't always the best idea, I don't think, certainly not on the interstate.
No, but like on a regular street.
But even on a regular street, or if you were on maybe a county highway or something, maybe there's an approach or something where you could pull off, and if you really needed to send that email or respond to something, or answer a text or whatever it is, it's so nerve-wracking for me to think. I just can't do it. I'm not adept enough at, and I've got voice activated, texting and that sort of thing in my vehicle as well. So there are ways around it, but boy, the safest way is just to get off the road if you're going to do that. All right, India has decided they need a few more tigers. So they have been working on it, and they have doubled its wild tiger population between 2006 and 2018. Doubled the population. That's pretty good. Achieving a conservation milestone set at the 2010 St. Petersburg International Summit. A study revealed that India's tiger numbers had climbed above 3,600 by 2018, representing about 75% of the world's tiger population across over 53,000 miles. Anyway, it monitored tigers across 20 Indian states every 4 years and found that tiger habitat increased by over 30%. So, anyway, And they're going on to say that concerns about human-tiger conflict, they can kind of quell those concerns with these numbers. About 35 people die annually from tiger attacks compared to 50,000 who die from snake bites. So that's a different number for sure. The study shows that tigers thrive in economically developed areas where tiger tourism is viable and governments compensate for tiger-related losses.
You have to say about that tiger tourism? They're great.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, you were just waiting to use that
Yeah,
one.
I
weren't
was.
ya?
I had that one in my pocket.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Here is a study. Every once in a while there's a study and I read the headline and I think, what? And this is one of those. Tree-lined streets may lower heart disease risk, while grass areas show the opposite effect. I circled the story and I put a whole bunch of question marks across the top. I thought, what?
Well, we got a lot of tree-lined streets in Fergus Falls.
We do. Tree City, USA. We should all be living forever. Okay, so here's what it says. They tracked 90,000 nurses for 18 years and discovered that neighborhoods with more visible trees had lower cardiovascular disease rates. Now, how did they attribute that to the trees?
Well, they hugged them.
I don't know. My goodness. Okay, well, I guess they're using AI, of course, to measure what people actually see at ground level, revealing that not all green space affects heart health equally. Trees may protect hearts by cooling the neighborhood. Okay, maybe I can get my arms around that one. Filtering air pollution.
Yeah.
Maybe. Reducing noise, I suppose. And encouraging walking. Do trees encourage you to walk?
No, that's my wife and doctor.
Yeah. Let's see. Grass areas often signal car-dependent suburban sprawl with fewer health benefits. I don't know how you determine that trees or no trees.
Somebody had to get their thesis in for their doctorate.
I guess that is, maybe that's probably true. And then the very next headline says, a study finds that unfit people have a 775% more likely risk to experience high anxiety from stress. So, if you are unfit, oh gosh, like so many of us are, yeah, your experience of high anxiety from stress goes up 775%. Sorry about that.
Probably because everybody keeps saying you're unfit.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. I mean, really, if you lined up, I mean, just think off your top of your head, not thinking about who, you know, their physical appearance. Name 10 people. I bet by BMI standards, 9 out of 10 would be considered unfit.
I've got a bunch of friends who are, like, in shape.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't pick those friends when we're doing that poll. But I'm like, I mean, a lot of us in the United States today would be considered unfit.
Well, I mean, even back when I was skinny and in shape and went to the gym 3 days a week, I was still considered overweight.
Oh, well, I'm at the gym.
I'm sitting there looking at myself going, how is this overweight?
Well, I know, and I'm at the gym 3+ days a week, but I sure don't consider myself fit, not even close. Anyway, I just thought, wow, that was an interesting stat. I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people writing thesis statements that are just so obscure that nobody can, you know, say yes or no to. Anyway, okay, this is how much people love their dogs. Not you.
No. Well, I love Jack.
I know.
He's gone, so.
You can't say anything bad about him.
Yeah, I can't say anything bad about Jack.
But, you know, in your heart of hearts, you kind of like Jack. Just say it.
Yeah.
It was your wife's dog, for heaven's sake.
It's my wife's dog. Yes, I really loved the dog.
Thank you. All right. Okay. There is a guy in Miami, and he has paid $50,000 to clone his Boston Terrier.
Wow.
The dog died, and he said, that is my best friend and soulmate, traveling with him to dozens of countries since 2017. It's an 80-day cloning process, and scientists extract the nucleus from healthy cells and place it into an egg cell. So is it considered a healthy cell after the dog is dead?
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know either. A surrogate dog carries the resulting embryo until birth. Wow. Despite risks like inherited genetic issues, this guy said, I have no regrets, saying it's almost like it never happened, like he never left me. The service has gained celebrity attention, with Tom Brady, Barbara Streisand, and Paris Hilton also cloning pets.
Nope.
That adds them to the list of crazy people for me.
Yeah.
Currently, interested pet owners face a 7-month waiting list for the procedure. So it sounds like it worked. He's got a dog on his lap.
Yeah.
But it's not his dog.
No.
Not his old dog.
It's, you know, the memories you make with the dog, the
Okay, that's just weird. Somebody isn't, well, they're making 50 grand is what
Yeah.
they're making. Oh my goodness.
But I mean, that dog's emotions are going to be different. It's
Okay, so
temperament.
there's some cellular.
Yeah. It looks like
you
a
know,
year-old dog.
That's weird. Oh boy. Whoever thought, I thought it was just, wasn't it, weren't we cloning sheep?
Oh, Dolly, that was back. I was in
I
high
know.
school when
I know,
Dolly
it was a
got
long
cloned.
time ago. But now, yeah, your pet dies, you just get another one, just like it.
No.
Weird. And who's got 50K, right? All right. Okay. You mentioned goats. Goats and sheep, and we're talking animals. Anyway, Dallas has deployed 300 goats to clear invasive vegetation around White Rock Lake's east side.
This is a real thing.
I'm here to tell you, this works.
Yep.
I know someone who just this
There's
last
a company
summer-
in Fergus that does this.
There is. We know him, and what he does, and I don't know how many goats he has. It's like 30, let's say. I'm in that range. Anyway, and he comes to you. He brings all the goats in a trailer, and then he sets up electric fence around the perimeter of what you want eaten, basically, cleaned up, and then he lets the goats go, and he leaves the trailer so the goats have a place to go. He takes care of feeding and watering them, I think. So really, all you have to do is just pay the guy to come and bring the goats. And it's absolutely funny to watch. These goats will take a tree, and there is nothing but a tiny, tiny little limb is even too big. Just tiny little sticks left on that tree when those guys are done. And it can be the heaviest buckthorn and crazy, thick green stuff. And they come in there, and a few days later, that place is stripped down to the ground.
Well, I mean, I love the, you're not using any harsh chemicals and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. Okay, so anyway, the city's Park and Rec department paid approximately 15 grand. And by the way, this guy does not charge $15,000. Eco-friendly project, goats grazing 1 to 1.5 acres daily over 10 to 11 days. Goats target invasive shrubs that crowd out native plants. Electric fencing guides the herd through the acres while the shepherd monitors them. Yeah, just exactly what I was talking about. 5 to 10 sheep will handle grass areas. And anyway, the ones that I saw, he had more than, I want to say, was at least 20 goats. And you just can't imagine how fast those guys can eat. And it just cleared out this area so nicely. And then they get to eat. Somebody makes a little cash, and the other guy gets it cleaned. I mean, really.
Yeah.
It's just win-win-win all the way around. It's a genius idea for a business. So, anyway, there you go. hire the goats, and you actually can do that right here in Fergus Falls. All right, and I read this headline too, and I am so in. A survey finds that women prefer staying in over going out when they get together for girls' night. I'm all over staying home.
Staying in.
I will always be the house where people come. Yes, let's have a girls' night. Want to come to my house? I love to do that. I love to entertain, but it sure is fun to be
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I hate to miss a basketball game, but they were playing in 2 different spots last night, and it just didn't work with the work-wise and getting out of town on time for me to get to the games. And
Parker's is not exactly down the street.
No, and there's no good way to get there. I hate the drive to Parker's. Anyway, and I would have ended up going by myself, and I just didn't feel like doing it. And anyway, as I'm sitting on my comfortable couch in my pajamas watching basketball, thanking my lucky stars, I'm on my couch in my pajamas at my house. And you know, game's over, off I go upstairs to bed.
Perfect way to do it.
It's great. Yeah, nothing like, staying in over going out, right? And when you get to, as seldomly as we get to stay in, you really appreciate it when you do. So, all right, coming up on 10 o'clock, already going to wrap up another show. And our show on this Tuesday brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Monument Company. Have a great day.